Did you make it rich on the free market, in total air quotes? Or did the man keep you down? Once again, Matt, the revolution has begun. I made the pamphlets, and I will distribute them accordingly.
Welcome to the revolution, or the Gamers 2 podcast. I don't know what this is anymore.
Gamers 2 podcast, revolution.
I like it. Gamers 2 podcast.
It's like the Matrix.
For January 29th, 2021. Your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. We're going to have to revamp that. It's getting old. It's New Year.
It is. It is a new year. And it's getting old. Mostly it's a new year.
Yup.
That's going to be fun to listen to in the background.
That was intentional. It wasn't a high-pitched noise that'll make you want to cry.
If you did start crying, rethink some things. Anyway. I'm going to propose a question. Before I even get to new releases.
Yeah.
I'm going to propose a question to you that I think you know my answer to, and I might know your answer as well. But it's after a movie trailer came out, so now the question needs to get asked. Who wins in a fight? Godzilla or Kong?
So on the surface, the answer seems to be obvious that it would be Godzilla.
Yes, I concur.
But if we take into account that Kong is kind of huge comparatively, like he is the same size as Godzilla.
Yes.
Which seems kind of ridiculous to begin with. So naturally,
Skull Island.
Yeah, based on the whole like gorilla thing, he would have like stupid strength. Like,
but are we saying? I know, based on the gorilla thing, but are we saying that a Kong-sized gorilla is 3 times as strong as a Godzilla-sized Godzilla?
I would imagine. This is the hard thing because there's not really a comparable size like lizard or amphibian of
right,
like a crocodile maybe
versus just a regular gorilla.
Yeah, I think a gorilla would win. Well, I guess it depends on
it depends. Water, I probably give it to the croc. On land,
but a gorilla is stronger.
A gorilla is at least smarter.
I think a gorilla is stronger than a crocodile. Like, it would not surprise me for a gorilla to, like, grab a crocodile and straight up, like, rip its mouth open.
That would be interesting of what is the grip strength and whatever other strength needed to separate that versus the jaw strength of a crocodile.
Yeah.
That also being said, I wanted to put in the caveat that we're not using weapons that you can just find. This removes Kong's axe.
That's the other thing, though, is like Kong has the like full limbs, full hands, thumbs.
Yeah,
he can use tools.
Right, he can use tools, but we're removing the idea of specifically giving him the spear that you see in the trailer. He can use tools, but specifically we're just going to remove that. So if the tool becomes he grabs the top of the Empire State Building and tries to spear him with it, acceptable.
I don't know.
Otherwise, it's what they have on their person when the fight starts.
It's kind of the old, like, what is the saying? An unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
Yeah.
It's like very much that. Because Kong is clearly like, I think you could argue that Kong should be stronger than Godzilla. But at the same time, it's Godzilla and he's nuclear powered. So it's like...
I think you're right to say that he is at brute strength level stronger. Godzilla has a nuke, though. and you very quickly run into the conversation of, well, yeah, the strongest man in the world could run around beating up everybody, but the government has a nuke. So, 50-50.
See, I think they made Godzilla too strong.
I mean, yes, that's why Kong has to get the axe, because otherwise it's the version of kryptonite for the monster world, apparently.
Yeah, but then he could just do that, like, irradiated pulse thing that fucking melts skin. Like, melts flesh.
Yeah.
But doesn't melt him, you know what I mean?
He also can basically detonate himself.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's too OP.
Superman, same problem.
True.
Which brings us to new releases.
If you can't wrap your mind around the idea of Godzilla fighting Kong, you could distract yourself with these games.
I like it. Works for me. Number 1, Solus 128 for the PC and Switch. Number 2, Dead Cells Fatal Falls DLC for the PS4, PC, Xbox One, and Switch. Number 3, Encadia for the PC. Number 4, King Arthur, A Knight's Tale for the PC. Number 5, The Sims 4 Paranormal Stuff Pack for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Number 6, Stronghold Warlords for the PC. Number 7, The Dark Eye... Oh, God, why are there two of them? The Dark Eye Chains of Satinov? Satinov? For the PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Number 8, The Dark Eye Memoria for the PS5, Xbox Series X, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch.
Are these like I Spy games?
My guess is they're similar to... Oh, God, what is that other one that comes out that's entirely Japanese that drops like 4 at a time for the Switch always? Not Tales of Xeria, but there's another one, Chronicles of... It's not Xenoblade Chronicles. The Ys series? YS? I don't remember. There's one that I've read before that is entirely JRPG that drops 4 of them at a time. So, but this might just be in the same vein. Number 9, Right, The Eye of Atlantis for the PC VR. Number 10, Devour for PC. Number 11, Disjunction for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I'm not reading numbers anymore, so you figure it out from here. The Medium comes to PC and Xbox Series X. Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 for the PS5.
Gundamu.
You and your Gundams. Monstrum 2 for the PC. Sword of the Necromancer for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Tohu? I don't know if that's an abbreviation for something. For PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia. Yakuza Remastered Collection, or Yakuza Remastered Collection for the PC. Bonkies for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Gods Will Fall for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia. The Pedestrian for PS4. And Turrican Flashback for the PS4 and Switch. Reading The Pedestrian makes me what happened to The Quiet Man.
Oh yeah, The Quiet Man. Didn't that get like
Canceled?
like delayed or canceled for some reason? I think there was like something with the voice actor, right?
Honestly, it might have come out.
It might have.
Also an option. I don't remember.
The Medium. I heard that like just doesn't run well on anything.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it running. I've heard that it's one of those where it's like cool concept, not fleshed out enough. But I haven't heard anything about it running. It's on game. For the record, get this out of the way right now. It's on Game Pass, which, as we know, is the greatest deal in gaming. You're welcome. Thank you, Microsoft, for not sponsoring this episode at all, but allowing me to freely talk about how good Game Pass is. Minus the bad consumer practices you guys had last week, and then changed right after we recorded.
That'll be fixed.
Bastards.
Shortly.
I see. I'll take odds.
Okay.
I said that having closed my tablet, like a real big brain play. Less than 18 hours after it was announced, and after we did last week's episode, Xbox scrapped its plan to raise the price of its Xbox Live Gold subscription service. Analysts suggested this was an aggressive effort from Microsoft to convince its Gold user base to upgrade to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. Fans took to social media to criticize the increase taking place so soon after the launch of the new Xbox consoles, and during the current uncertain economic situation caused by COVID-19. Microsoft reacted quickly, however, and has reversed its decision. The firm has also announced that free-to-play games on Xbox will no longer require Gold membership at all. Speaking of Xbox, Game Pass is up to 18 million subscribers, up from the 15 they previously reported in September.
That's a pretty impressive game. 3 million people and 3 million subscribers in a couple months.
Yeah, after I believe it was, not 100% on these numbers, but I believe it was 10 million in April.
Yeah, something like that.
It was 8 million across the beginning/heart of the pandemic. And now that we've settled into a pandemic, it's only gained 3 million more.
Settled into the pandemic.
Welcome to the new world order.
Still can't smell. Still can't taste. Sadness.
Managed to avoid those problems somehow. Though now I am wearing a headband because my hair is...
You're holed up in the great ice north here.
Winter is coming, Matthew.
Winter is here.
It is true.
6 degrees out right now, I think.
When I went to work this morning, it was -3.
It's 7 degrees. It's 9 degrees. Wait, that's Whitesboro. It's probably 7 degrees here.
I mean, I can.
Nah, that's just
It was -3 when I went to work this morning, but yeah, it's a correct move for them to change it back. I have -1.
There you have it, folks. -1.
It's the correct move for them to change it back. We said that's what it should be. It was predatory and it was bullshit and yada yada yada. I don't remember everything else we said, but it sounds about right for what I would normally say.
I think they should just get rid of it.
We also, I think, said that. Just get rid of it. Like, don't cancel it and merge everybody. It'd be one way to do it, but you have the problem of bills or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just stop selling it.
Yeah.
Let everybody lapse and then say, if you want to continue, come over here. If you want to early adopt before your time runs out and you have to do it, we'll figure something out to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's weird to have, if you're somebody that's paying for just Gold, right? Why would you pay for just Gold when a couple dollars more gets you just Gold and an entire giant Game Pass library and xCloud and crossplay between your PC? Like, what?
Yeah, it's almost the value of Game Pass is so good that it makes just paying for Gold, even though it is technically cheaper, it makes it look like a bad deal.
Yeah. Especially if you're somebody that plays enough games, you're going to get all first-party games. You're already getting the medium. Halo Infinite will be there. You get a bunch of indie titles. I and Matt have talked about Game Pass ad nauseum on this podcast because it is the best deal in gaming. I will continue to say that in case you forget at some point. And also, I would take... I've lost it. I lost what I was going to say.
Take something. Take your firstborn child.
Ooh, interesting. I was also going to say a sweet influencer jacket from Microsoft that just says Game Pass on it. Nothing else. Hell, send just a cheap $8 hoodie or something from like Walmart that they went and embroidered the words Game Pass on. And I'm in. You don't even have to put your own logo in there. Don't even do that. If you don't want to acknowledge that you did this, just put Game Pass on it.
That just randomly brought up a weird memory I had. I wonder if I still have Xbox 360 hats.
Oh. Like, I'll walk around PAX with a hoodie on that just says Game Pass on it. I'll free advertise it.
That would be like a weird thing.
Because if 18 million people isn't enough, and somehow somebody at PAX doesn't understand what Game Pass is, including your giant booth that is probably doing nothing but advertising Game Pass games.
I think people would see it and be confused because they'd be like, who just has a Game Pass hoodie?
Right. No one.
They'd just be like, what?
You put in small letters, like in the, where, I don't know, what do you call it? The breast logo area, I guess.
Sure.
I want to say breast pocket. There's not a pocket on hoodies. You just put little words Game Pass, and then on the back, you don't have to do anything. Once again, Microsoft, nothing has to be done. I appreciate you, and I will still consider to call this out constantly. But on the back, throw up like similar to that poster, where it's just I want to say collage, but I don't know if that's really what I want, of first-party titles.
Mm-hmm.
Just boom, in screen print. Game Pass, first-party titles.
It's an idea.
And then underneath all those first-party titles, you just put in words like a great, glorious advertising tramp stamp, available on Game Pass.
It's a thing. It could happen.
I'm just saying. It would work.
Number 2. Electronic Arts announced the creation of Full Circle, a new studio that will be dedicated to the Skate franchise. Based in Vancouver, Canada, it will be led by Microsoft's former head of Xbox Live, Daniel McCullough, as general manager, and includes staff from, quote, around the globe, end quote. Duran Chung and Cuz Perry, I don't know if that's how you say their names, don't really care, who both were creative leads.
Wow. Rude.
Well, whatever. Who were both creative leads on previous Skate franchise, or Skate entries, will be joining Full Circle to, quote, lead the charge on the next evolution of the franchise, end quote. There you have it. New studio that they'll inevitably close in a couple years. And murder. Perhaps. Or they'll leave that one and they'll close BioWare. What else could they close?
That would be... And they're just like, and BioWare's dead.
And goodbye. Actually, that'd be like 3 or 4 studios, so... They'll slowly, like, nix them. Austin will be the last one standing.
Of course it would be.
And they'll rename it to something else.
Yeah, something like... Motive. Just to, like, rub salt in the wound, they rename their new studio to their old studio that they also killed.
They'll just call it EA Austin.
Oh, innovative.
Yeah.
Real creative. Sounds like an EA move. Maybe they would call it FIFA 39. And then when FIFA 39 does exist, they just have to change the name again. I'm still excited for what this is going to be. Because I like Skate. But there is that voice that goes, this could be bad. Really bad.
I feel like I'm one of the only people in the world that didn't get into any of the Tony Hawk or Skate games.
Like ever? Or
ever?
That's fair. Once again, if we start comparing lists, it gets bad for both of us. I shit on Half-Life, and everybody comes for me. They're like, you've never played it? Like, yeah. Matt doesn't say anything bad about Tony Hawk, just that he's never played it.
Mm-hmm.
And no one says anything. But because I take a direct shit show shot.
Well, yeah, that's how that works.
Stop that. No, you don't give them a logic.
I respect Tony Hawk. I respect skate.
Did you see that Tony Hawk,
Mm-hmm.
the man, the myth, the legend, at 52, did a 720? Clip going around Reddit. The clip captioned, potentially Tony's last 720.
Potentially. Wow. Breaking a hip or
He's just getting up there to be pulling 720s.
52.
Just bombing around in a half pipe and 720. He was pumped.
I can't even do a 720 now. I couldn't do 720 when I was at peak physical performance.
I can't do a 720 just jumping.
That's a good point.
Like,
I can't do that.
Jumped up and tried to spin, I can't do it. So.
If I just do a 720 spin, it'd probably fall over.
There's a solid chance, yeah. Even if I went slow, and I just looked at you and I was like, all right, I'm going to do a 360. I'm going to do it again. All right, I got to sit down.
What was that game?
Dizzy Bat?
Yeah, Dizzy Bat.
Yeah. Dizzy Bat is terrible. It depends. How did you play Dizzy Bat? There's a couple different ways. Obviously, everybody plays it drunk. There's a couple different ways I've seen it played, though, where you chug, then you Dizzy Bat, then you sometimes had to, like, run somewhere. So I've seen that one. I've also seen it where they Dizzy Bat, and each person had a ball on a tee. They had to hit the ball.
Nah, I did it the first one.
Yeah. I've never done Dizzy Bat.
Makes for some really entertaining.
There's multiple reasons why I won't do a Dizzy Bat. Not a chugger, first off. I don't shotgun beers. Not my style. Don't have the throat capacity for that. I don't know how chugging works. I don't know if it's a bigger, like, the amount of gulps you can take, or
I don't either. I'm not a chugger either.
Yeah.
I've seen someone drink a whole beer. I mean a whole beer in 3 seconds.
Yeah, I've had buddies that can just same thing, and I'm like,
it's weird. They're like, oh, you just open your throat. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Does it mean I just open, like, my whole throat just opens up and stays open, and you could just, like, I don't know, pour things into my fucking stomach?
It means you end up looking like those spitting dragons that run across the water, and you just kind of, yeah. Exactly that motion. You just kind of tuck your neck in, and then you just fan out your gills to the side like a giant predator. And
it just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I've never... Anytime somebody's like, oh, you just do something, whenever I'm like, ooh, that's, like, interesting, and they're like, oh, yeah, just do this. I'm like, that's not how that works.
No.
That's never how that works.
The trick, though...
Second reason I won't do it.
Yeah. Really
not good in dizzy, like, situations. Like, I can get motion sick pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I'm very confident that Dizzy Bat alone would be a very, very bad idea.
I wouldn't do it now because I'm old and I'd probably break my neck.
True. But I mean, I'm talking, obviously the teacup ride I could never go on. But I'm trying to think of the Tilt-A-Whirl? The one where
it's like, it spins and also rotates.
You can spin your car and you're on a little bit of up, down in a small circle. No way. No way in hell. Scrambler? No way. Can't do it.
Do you get seasickness?
I don't know.
Okay.
Haven't really been on a boat to find out.
This is fascinating.
But kayaks and canoes,
yeah,
no problem.
Yeah,
swimming, no problem. Everything like that. But like, I haven't really. I haven't really been on a boat to find out.
You have to go on, like, I feel like you'd have to go on like a big boat for it to tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a small little, like, someone's like fucking party barge.
The Jaws boat, basically.
At least that big, if not a little bit bigger.
I have to go questionably hunt sharks.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go hunt some sharks with you. I love Jaws. Good movie.
We're going to need a bigger boat. But yeah, I haven't really... I've never been able to test that. I assume it's probably not going to go well, but I'm not positive. It might be fine.
It probably wouldn't go well.
My guess is that it probably wouldn't go well, but I don't know. One way to find out.
But yeah, something to look into.
Life experience at some point. When the fuck that's happening, or where that's happening, when we're just like, yeah, let's just go get a boat and go test Nate's seasickness.
I could go for some jet skis. Jet skis are fun.
I feel like I'd be fine on a jet ski.
Yeah, you'd be fine on. I feel like the issue with jet skis, you need a boating license. I don't know about the other areas of the country, but in New York, you need a boating license for jet skis.
Color me shocked that something's more difficult in New York.
But if we
go to Vegas, we don't need shit.
It's weird.
We probably go to Vegas and go to the lake, and they hand us a jet ski.
Jet skis, you need a boating license, but I think for most boats, you don't need a boating license.
Interesting move. So, what you're saying is we go get a giant boat.
Yeah.
And make it go real fast in a straight line.
Yeah, you could do that.
Big boat fast?
Big boat fast.
Small boat slow? Are those the Project Boat terms? The old, what boat stands for. Bust out another 1,000.
That's accurate. Yeah.
Speaking of expensive things, number 3. Tencent has added Don't Nod to its increasingly lengthy list of game developer investments. The French studio behind Life is Strange and Tell Me Why announced that it is raising $48.5 million to help it realize its self-publishing ambitions, including $36.3 million from Tencent that will give the Chinese tech company a minority stake in the company. As part of the deal, Tencent will be able to fill a seat on Don't Nod's board of directors. I'm not going to make the joke I was going to make. That would be very bad.
I also saw a rumor, I think it was last week, that Tencent wanted to buy Take-Two. Those rumors are always going around, but...
The headline that got thrown out was Tencent looking to make more acquisitions, could buy Take-Two, EA, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they just started spitting out places, but people like they would easily just go buy more Korean developed, like specifically mobile, because it's a giant market. But that's
Take-Two I could get.
Thought.
I could understand that, but buying EA just I guess for Ultimate Team and that sort of thing,
it prints money, and EA has a mobile presence.
Yeah.
How much it is, not much, but they have one. Take-Two, a lot of money, sure, but in a truly purchased Tencent Take-Two, I don't like that. That scares me for what you see come out of. You have to hope that they leave Rockstar to still be Rockstar. But
I don't like the trend of the consolidation going on. I'm not a big fan of that trend, but it's like a cyclical thing.
Yeah. Then we'll celebrate when everybody gets to break free because they've been trapped under their bad publisher, but then they constantly have to delay updates because they have nobody down their back again. Looking at you, Bungie.
Shots fired.
I mean, it's not really even shots. It's just truth mixed with I don't play the game, so I can easily say those things. I have no stake in it at all.
True. Destiny.
Still kicking.
Still kicking.
Alive and well. Speaking of things still kicking, unless we're about to talk about it at some point, Apex is going into Season 8.
Not on the list.
Yeah.
Apex Season 8. There was something else, too, that was a lot of RuneScape news this week.
I honestly have no idea. I have no idea. I simultaneously have no idea, and am so also curious about how that game still functions. I never gave a shit about it back then.
I don't know. I don't know how most of the world still functions. So I have very little insight into anything. Number 4, the PlayStation Twitter account has announced that Returnal has been delayed to April 30th of this year. Quote, SIE and House Marquee have made the decision to move the release date in order to give the team extra time to continue the polish of the game to the level of quality players expect from House Marquee. End quote.
Housemark?
Housemark? Is it Housemark? Housemark.
That's how I've always known it.
Yeah. Yeah. Returnal, is that the lady space shooter chick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, lady space shooter chick. Pretty sure that's the game's description.
Running around shooting things.
Lady space shooter chick, and you go to space and shoot things in Returnal, and that's it. 10 seconds and they're out. Whole pitch. Got him a whole studio though. Another one. We haven't seen anything on it. See that one little
I don't even know what
clip or whatever, and then that's it.
I don't even know what the original release date was.
I don't either. But at this point, I have started ignoring release dates because I've started ignoring release dates because everything's just going to get delayed.
March 19th.
Was the original one?
Yes.
Yeah. Everything's just going to get delayed, though, so that's why I'm not concerned. Number 5, though, Matt. Bloomberg is reporting that Amazon is spending, quote, nearly $500 million a year, end quote, on its video game division. That number does not include Twitch, nor its cloud streaming service Amazon Luna. The same Bloomberg report details issues within Amazon, including lack of incentives, struggles with its lumberyard engine, and an internal, quote, bro culture, end quote. Where women were not afforded the same opportunities as their male counterparts. According to interviews with over 30 current and former Amazon employees, Amazon's struggles to launch a game include canceling a number of projects, including fantasy sports game Breakaway and recently the hero shooter Crucible. Its MMORPG New World was delayed out of 2020 and is currently set to go live this spring. I always love the term bro culture because I only picture the immediately douchiest people. Bruh, a lot of that going on.
Bro.
Which is weird when you think of that happening in a game development where people, I don't know if nerds are usually not bros. They're equally as bad, though. If that makes sense. Like, they're both... God, how do I want to say this? They can be very misogynistic, but they also would not survive bro culture. If that makes sense. When I think of bro culture, like you have two people that both mistreat women, this is a terrible, terrible thing to be going down. But you have two people that historically both mistreat women, but both also hate each other. And it's not the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation with them.
Revenge of the Nerds?
Basically, yeah.
$500 million a year.
$500 million a year on nothing but failure and disappointment.
Yes.
And now you have a bro culture, which not a good look.
I'm kind of enjoying it because it's nice to have that, confirmation. I guess that would be it. That money can't buy everything.
Well, isn't it also kind of weird? I mean, we'll think on this for a second. That they say they're spending $500 million a year, but yet we know certain game budgets are only $100 million and they take 6 years to develop. What's the $500 million going towards? Because you've only been failing, and there was no way Crucible or Breakaway was saving any part of that.
They have a team that's specifically working on Lumberyard, I believe.
Probably, yeah.
They have...
Would make sense. You need an engine team. Unless you're EA and you don't give a shit.
They have New World.
Yep.
They have Crucible.
Had, at least.
Yeah, we'll count it.
I assume they fully shut it down. That's right.
Yeah. And then, there was another one.
Breakaway is the other one I just said.
Breakaway.
Also dead.
Was that the Rocket one? Didn't they have a Rocket one?
That was the one that you have in here is like Fantasy Sports, I think. Well, Fantasy Sports or whatever was Breakaway, but...
The one where you were like fighting with rockets?
That, I believe, is Rocket Arena, but that's EA.
That's EA, okay.
And that game still exists.
I thought they had another one that was also equally shitty and forgettable, but
Probably Breakaway, because I don't remember it.
so that's 4 things.
And 2 are gone.
2 are gone.
So
Well,
you're-
I'm assuming they're gonna include that in there.
Well, I mean, they are, but either way, so you're spending $500 million on 4 things. If 2 are now dead, and you continue to spend $500 million a year on 2 things,
Even $500 million on those 4 things is pretty egregious because
is concerning. I
$100 million budget.
It's not concerning because I don't give a fuck about Amazon's finances, but
$100 million budget for a game that's a top game.
That's a large, by budget standards, that is a large game.
Yeah,
That is AAA minimum 9.990 rating.
Yeah,
Like has to be when it launches.
What are they spending their money on?
I'm not convinced New World will succeed.
Not from what we've seen.
Exactly. Not from what we've seen.
No, I mean it'll have a solid small following for a few years.
Does it last a few years? I think that's the bigger question. I think it'll have a solid first month of people always wanting to check it out. I mean, same thing WildStar had. He had a solid first month, people constantly coming in and checking everything out. But then once they do it,
it would have to be
the thing with the MMOs always becomes what do I do now? If I've completed everything in the month, what keeps me here next month?
Mm-hmm. I think they would be good for. They would have an okay, like a really small following for a couple of years, but Amazon would just kill it, which is what they should do. I don't even know. I don't even fucking know what they do at this point. They should stop. They should just become like a publishing arm and just maybe keep their engine, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I would, even with that engine, I'd be intrigued to see who's using it that's not in Amazon.
Honestly, they should do what Epic's doing. They should have a storefront. They should have their engine. They should help with game publishing and just leave it at that and compete against Epic and Valve and because they can offer things like web services and stuff like that they couldn't really compete with.
They can. It's just that. Yeah, no, you're right. They can. But once again, that's $500 million. In this entire plan, and it's not counting Twitch, and it's not counting Luna, which is a step in that direction of storefront.
Yeah,
and this isn't counting either of those things.
To be fair, $500 million is an insignificant amount of money to Amazon.
Yes, but they've killed 2 of those. Because they, at least for those 2, weren't convinced that they would do anything. The operation cost was going to be too high to keep them alive.
Amazon should be buying people like Take-Two and EA.
Don't give them ideas.
If they want to be serious about the game thing. Where are we here?
6.
Oh, no. Oh.
Gotcha, bitch.
The GameStop stock.
Stonks.
The GameStop stock situation. Alliteration. The GameStop stock situation has been a bit of a roller coaster over the past week. As of Thursday, the stock hit an all-time high of $380. I haven't checked it since. All right, it could be something ridiculous. Like it hit $390.
I believe it hit 4 something.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw your 380, and I was like, I think it hit 450 at one point. It might have crossed 5, but I don't think it did.
All right. This was my quick and dirty update as of like 5, 6 o'clock-ish on Thursday. A lot has still happened from then, which I guess after this we can feel free to fill in. But
Revolution.
As of Thursday, the stock hit an all-time high of 380. It's since gone up from there, but whatever.
And down based strictly based on Thursday.
Yeah, and on Thursday it had started to creep down again. Anyways, Wall Street and big business has started its counterattack as well. Market Watch reports some major brokerage houses have begun to restrict trading on GameStop. Discord has banned the server used by Wall Street Bets Group, citing, quote, hateful and discriminatory content, end quote. The communications platform was quick to assert the decision was not due to financial fraud or anything related to the surge and short selling of GameStop shares. Yeah, right over there. Interesting.
There's noises happening,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, because first I heard like a do-do-do,
Mm-hmm.
and then I glanced down at this,
Yes.
which is no longer on mic 3 where it was.
Mm-hmm.
It's now on mic 1.
Yes.
So I got worried when I heard the noise, and I had to look at our recording to see if we were still going. Then I glanced back at this, and it obviously I'm on 1, you're on 2, and I was on 1, and nothing was happening because I wasn't talking.
Yeah.
But then I'm just staring at that, and that's why I was staring at your bar over there, like, are we still recording?
Good times. Robinhood, one of the popular trading tools used by individual investors, has decided it will no longer allow people to purchase GameStop stock. In addition to drawing plenty of social media backlash, Robinhood's move has caught the attention of U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who said on Twitter, quote, "This is unacceptable. We now need to know more about Robinhood's decision to block retail investors from purchasing stock, while hedge funds are freely able to trade the stock as they see fit. As a member of the U.S. House Committee on Financial Services, I'd support a hearing if necessary," end quote. Ocasio-Cortez added that the inquiries should not be limited to Robinhood. In a follow-up blog post, Robinhood said it would allow limited purchasing of GameStop and the other company shares today, as in Friday, and denied speculation that it had halted the purchasing of shares at the behest of investment firms that actually execute its users' trades. The situation has elevated to the point where even the new U.S. President Joe Biden's government is aware, with Press Secretary Jen, do you know how to say her last name?
I'm assuming it's Psaki, but I'm not positive.
I'm not sure either. Jen Psaki saying earlier Thursday that the Treasury is keeping an eye on the changes to GameStop's stock. And I know a whole ton has happened since then. I don't know if you've been following it. I kind of gave up.
I kind of gave up as well.
I know it was starting to spread into other stocks as well.
Yes.
BlackBerry, AMC,
Nokia. A company called Cool. I think they make headphones. KOOL. Never heard of them. Yeah, there are a few other things, and I'm going to preface this right now so the SEC can't come after you and I.
Huh.
None of what I'm about to say, or he's about to say, is investment advice at all. Also, we don't know shit about the stock market. Also, the revolution has begun, because fuck these hedge funds.
I've seen some of the clips and stuff like that of like the billionaires and stuff complaining.
Yeah. Billionaires complaining they got beat at their own game.
Yeah.
There's enough memes that have gone around. This goes back to, I don't remember if I said this on a podcast or if we were talking about this off the podcast where I said Wall Street needs to die. It just doesn't need to exist anymore. Was that off the podcast or was that on?
I think it was probably on the podcast, really.
Either way.
But I don't know.
I've ran with those where I'm like, just kill it. The entire thing can be
my go-to is eat the rich.
Yes, eat them by just destroying it. Just get rid of it. Be gone. Move on. We're done. That being said,
we'll preface this real quick. By eat the rich, I mean like,
as I say, do you want to go with the old slogan, eat the rich?
The Jeff Bezos, the Elon Musks, like the insanely rich. If you make $200,000 a year, I don't really give a shit. If you make $1 million a year, I don't really give a shit. If you make $100 billion a year, I'm very interested.
You've piqued my interest. Though it does seem like Elon's on, at least based on everything he said, kind of.
Yeah.
Because he tweets in a very cryptic way.
He's on the populist route right now. He's in the populist kick.
He's out there fighting with the individuals.
My irritation with Elon Musk is pre-pandemic.
Is Elon?
Pre-pandemic, $25 billion, which is still a stupid amount of money.
Now the richest person in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Now he's the richest person. Has like 100
worth the most in the world.
Yeah. It's like, come on.
Yeah, but him, Mark Cuban was like, that's fine. Let him run with it. Like what?
Yeah.
Jon Stewart, same thing. Like, what? Are you guys mad you got beat at your own game? I don't understand. Like, you can't.
I was caught like the tail of a news thing, I think on my phone or something like that. And it's funny when this happens and it's retail, what do they call them? Retail investors?
Retail investing, because it's not,
Yeah.
It's technical, like normal, like investing in Target or Walmart. It's just Best Buy.
Yeah. The wording is funny because when it's people, like when it's everyday people doing small investments influencing the market, they refer to it as volatility.
Yeah.
But if it's like
hedge funds influencing the market massively,
business as usual.
Yeah, completely normal. It's as if they didn't ruin everything in 2008 and are now getting fucked for it.
Yeah.
I believe there are multiple hedge funds and other things that have gone under as a result of this.
I did see the $70 billion figure getting thrown around,
yep,
which
got thrown around a bit.
It's a little misleading because that's money lost from all short selling from the entire year. But if you look at money lost, I tried to find the value lost just from GameStop.
I know one company's.
It was like looking to total 1 point something billion.
So one of the companies that I guess was targeted for their short sellings was, I don't remember the name of it, but Steve Cohen's company has like a 15%. Steve Cohen, the new owner of the Mets, has like a 15% stake in that hedge.
Okay.
And that hedge lost like 2.74 billion.
Jesus.
With this whole thing. I believe that's what the number was. And so the whole joke was like, Mets gonna Mets. But they're gonna bail themselves. Steve, I think the plan was Steve and his financial partner are gonna bail out their company that got affected or whatever, which makes sense. Here's a few of my issues. I don't really want to dwell too far on this story because I could have done the entire podcast on just this, of me running through the memes, Korg doing a glorious "The Revolution Has Begun," Spartan Warriors showing up to the hill, and Sparta's only got to 300, and the other guys have everybody, but they're a bunch of farmers. And it's just that the whole thing has been great. Somebody cut the Endgame scene with hedge funds and whatever being Thanos.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody else, which is a great it's just great to watch because at one point it just says fucking Europe for an entire group of people. But yeah, it's good to see the billionaires. Weird sentence. Good to see the billionaires that I thought would be on the same side as the people of being like, go for it. You guys figured it out. Run with it. But then you have the crying billionaires that have been like, oh, maybe if you invested your $600 stimulus check, it would do it. Wait, no, not that way. No, that's not what we meant.
Stop that. Put that down.
Yeah, it's basically that. Hey, what if you guys invested? Okay. Wait, no. That's not, stop that. That's not what we meant. You're not allowed to do that. Wait, do what? Do what you do?
I've been enjoying like the tweets that are like, oh, you lost your billions of dollars in your home and all this and that. It's like, did you try giving up coffee for a week?
Yeah,
or whatever?
Have you not had avocado on toast? Have you learned to program? All these other things that people have thrown around. The idea, there was one that was going around, I think on Reddit and Twitter, that was funny that a bunch of, old billionaires or whatever found out or like we're doing this and really thought they weren't going to be able to stop a bunch of people that ran coordinated World of Warcraft Friday night raids on how to do something. Like, come on. We were bathed in fire. Just checking to see if I can find anything fun on the old twits real quick. See, let me see how far I have to scroll before I find a sweet. See that? You hear that?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
I don't know what that is either.
Making some blurp noises over there.
I don't know what that means. I'm wondering if that's like my Slack notification message. Because Slack is open, but it doesn't say there's a message. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to ignore it. As long as we're still recording, I'm not worried about it. But yeah, a bunch of solid memes of just people going at it. Bernie Sanders went in on somebody. I believe said something along the lines of like, "Give me a break." Another billionaire crying about losing some money while we have people that are going poor and hungry and all that stuff. And I was like, "Yep." Here's the part that's going to piss me off, because you know what's going to happen. The people that went under or lost money, in quotes, are going to get bailed out by the government.
It's definitely a possibility.
And then the regulations that get written are going to get written in such a way that they screw the individual, but are vague enough to let hedge funds and such continue to operate.
I actually have a little hope.
I have a small amount of hope,
because
but it's not much still.
Bernie and like Elizabeth Warren and Ocasio-Cortez, like all these like, you know, the vocal politicians who have pretty fair.
It is.
Okay.
Because Nolan Arenado, breaking news, Nolan Arenado, Rockies' third baseman, arguably one of the best third basemen in the National League, just got traded to the Cardinals. So my baseball, which is my Slack channel, which is my fantasy baseball league, is now bouncing all around. Reportedly, the Cardinals are sending $50 million back to the Rockies as part of the deal.
Interesting.
Because Arenado's contract is very big.
They seem very interested in this, and it'd be fun if they use this as an excuse to do all their economic changes that they wanted to do.
Yeah.
So
I just have the pessimism side of me always riding high.
That's the normal. That's what normally would happen. So
yes, and also Robin is going to get mentioned by name because it's the only one I can think of off the top of my head. But I know there were multiple ones that were doing this. I'm decently positive what they did was illegal and violates a trading act put in place in 1934, but I don't remember the exact name of it. You can't just stop because you wanna.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've already been sued, so it's gonna get interesting. I feel like this was the Titanic kind of move. Everybody's Reddit's on the boat, going iceberg, 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 and the captain's going no, and just trying to turn it, which is all the rich billionaires just trying to slightly. I gotta fucking turn Slack off. At least I know what it is now, so I'm not worried. But slightly turn the ship, but they can't.
Mm-hmm.
And Wall Street's just like lifeboats, lifeboats.
Realistically, it's probably not even picking up that noise.
I know it's not picking it up. Oh, air bubble. I know it's not picking it up, but it's going to trigger in my ears, and I'm going to go, what's not working? I had it happen the other day. I forgot. I was watching. Anytime you hear me do, it's because it went off again. I'm actually going to open that and respond to it, but. So. Son of a bitch. Might just go into my volume mixer real quick and mute that when I stop talking here in a second. But I left the TV on down in the living room because I was watching football down there, and I'd come up to do something on my computer. And then I went to use the bathroom, which is at the top of my stairs. I came out of the bathroom, and I was like, why do I hear voices downstairs? What's going on down there? And then I was listening for a second, and I was like, Oh, yeah, there's nobody randomly talking about football in my living room. That's the TV.
So people break into your house to talk about football in your living room? Yeah.
Listen, weirder things have happened. Not to me, but I'm sure in society.
For sure.
So I'm happy I live where I do and not like in the middle of the city where you have all those stories of like person climbs into the back of an Uber or like into the back of somebody's car and thinks it's an Uber, but they're blackout drunk and won't leave type of thing.
Yeah. We had a fox in our backyard.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I like that the caption was, "It's a fox." And I was like, yep, they exist.
It's a fox.
I mean, I appreciate it because I don't know that, ever seen one in the wild type of thing down there.
I've seen more. Here's the thing. I've seen more foxes in like, I don't know, what would you call that? Suburban-ish, I guess.
I guess if we're going with saying that urban would be, I don't know, because that makes me think like all of that area then, like all of that greater area is basically just a giant suburban style area.
Yeah, it's suburban because it's never dense enough to really be urban.
Yeah, there's very rare, there's like spots, like maybe a few streets that are urban in their layout, but...
So it's all suburban area, and like I've seen more foxes there than I have living out in the boonies at times. So, which kind of makes sense actually. Trash and other animals and all sorts of stuff, and in the boonies they could just be running around in the forest. So, foxes, they make crazy noises.
They do. So do deer, though. If you ever heard deer,
fuck deer, man.
Dude, have you ever heard one though?
I've heard, yeah, deer are like,
You're like,
dude,
what the fuck?
Yeah, foxes and deer, like they just make weird ass noises, and deer are just like sketchy. I just don't trust them.
Oh, deers are 100% shifty-eyed.
Yeah, they're wicked shifty, and they just stare at you like, I might walk away, or I might sprint at you and try to murder you.
Yeah. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Huh? You gonna do anything? I'm gonna stand here. What are you gonna do?
The same vibe I get from watching videos of kangaroo.
Yes, except I think a kangaroo is much more likely to try to fuck you up than a deer is.
Yeah. One of my favorite videos of all time, the guy punching guy punching the deer. The guy punching the kangaroo.
Because it had his dog in a
Because it had his dog. He just walks up and fucking pops him.
Yeah, and then you see the kangaroo be like, we doing this? We boxing right now? And he's kind of like sitting on his legs and he's like, never mind. I don't have time for this. You're clearly going to fight for the animal. Let it go.
Good times. Good times.
Yeah, I've had a deer stare down or two in my day. But it's always just been like, all right, what are you going to do? You going to stand there? You going to stay there? I'll stand here. Cool, we just hanging out now? We just hanging out? And then eventually, without me moving, you just hear, run away! And he just takes off and hauls ass in the other direction. You're like, I don't know where. All right, man. See you later. It's the biggest spike on this entire thing so far.
It's gonna be loud.
Wonder why. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen fox out and about. You get some wildlife up here. I believe it is somebody's cat, though. Not the fox. I've seen a fox and been like, that's a fox.
Yeah.
Perfect fox. But there are small footprints sometimes in my driveway, on my deck, down the side of the garage, all that stuff. And I'm like, I want to declare fox, but might be cat.
We were
small feline creature.
It does solve a mystery for us because we were getting weird footprints with something that clearly had a very fluffy tail that was leaving a trail.
Yeah, I was doing the old swish behind it.
And my guess was skunk because there's a lot of skunks.
Usually up, though, more.
Yeah, that's
Less
true.
Less of a droopy tail. I mean, still a droopy tail because if you ever see them running around, they're all like,
yeah.
I'm going to spray you.
I don't know why. Speaking of crazy animals, skunks also crazy.
Don't know why that was my skunk impression, by the way, and I didn't go to Pepe Le Pew.
Every time I've seen a skunk in the middle of the night while I've been out and about walking the streets, they fucking sprint at me.
Yeah,
and I have to run away.
Yeah, they're all about friendship.
He's just like, little girl, love at first sight, no?
Thank you for going to Pepe. Here. I see you by the garbage can.
Fucking skunks. Anyways, should we move on?
Raccoon's also the same thing, though.
Yeah.
Trash bandits, man, they kill it.
You're
trash
up.
pandas, trash bandits.
Yeah. They're funny. They always just like, they got their little hands.
That's my favorite part. Have you seen the videos of like small raccoons eating nuts or something?
Oh, yeah. They're just like...
Yeah, they're... I can't stop touching this. You're like, just hold on to it and eat it. He's like, no. I like the way it feels.
Animals.
I like the way it feels in my hands. It's like the only French thing I can do is a really offensive. That and say Yves Guillemot's name really offensively. This is my skunk, Yves Guillemot. I've always wanted to meet somebody that has one for a pet. Or like, because you can deodorize skunks and domesticate them.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the idea because I'm like, you're just like more of an asshole cat. But you also might be really cool just to have around.
Yeah. Yep.
Number 7. Epic Games announced that it hit over 160 million users on the Epic Games Store for PC in 2020, and users spent over 700 million on the storefront over the course of the year. It wasn't entirely due to Fortnite, as third-party games constituted 265 million, or 37%. I'm going to stop right there, unless Matt breaks this down a little bit further. To be clear, that's 37% on non-free games. That means 63% of that money was spent on a free-to-play game.
And went to Epic. Yeah.
I'm going to be sick. The number of games also grew from I almost said 1900, that's not right. Number of games also grew from 190 in 2019 to 471 games available in 2020. 103 games were offered for free, with a total of over 749 million free games claimed by users.
That's insane.
Just giving shit away. Guess who claimed a lot of them? By a lot of them, I mean like, I don't know, how many were there a year? 103? 103. Somebody, oh, holy shit, never mind. I said somebody do the math, and here we go. Which averages out to over 7.2 million copies per title given away. That's not the number I wanted. That's a lot, though.
That is.
If you're giving away 7 million copies of a title, and there's companies that can't break 3 million units sold.
That's crazy.
And for some games, 3 million, like Resident Evil, 3 million units sold is a big number. Nuts. Nuts, I say.
That's crazy.
I also was more hoping for the 103 games were available. Fuck it, I don't care anymore. How many users is that? I guess is what I was wondering.
Yeah, like
how many unique claims are there, potentially? 749 divided by 103. The company... No, wait, that's not right either. No, you don't do the math. You can't do the math. You don't have enough numbers. You need to know the amount of users, and we don't know the amount of users. Rip. Actually, use the 160 million number.
160 for the year, right?
160 million users. Yeah, go with that number. So 749 divided by 160 million, or 749 divided by 160, without all the zeros.
4.68.
Okay, that's interesting. That's averaging that a one user claimed 5 games out of 103 then.
Yeah.
Pump those numbers up.
Yeah, those are rookie numbers.
Those are rookie numbers. You had 103 opportunities to click, I want, gimme free. The company says it's up to 31.3 million daily players active on the platform, and its monthly active users in December rose to 56 million. For comparison, Steam this month reported 120 million monthly active players during 2020. So about half their size.
That's
Not
pretty
ba-
fucking
not
good.
bad.
That's pretty good considering how old Epic is.
Yeah. If you're infantly pulling, in your infancy, pulling half of what grandfather Steam is, it's only a matter of time.
Doing pretty fucking good. The free games might be a contributing factor. Just throwing
How
it out
dare
there.
you? Fortnite also might be a contributing factor.
I think
fair though, Fortnite's a free game, so
Yeah.
Fortnite's a free game. Also had 600 million spent on it though. So
at what point do we stop calling it a free game?
it's free to play. But dude, have you seen these skins, bro? Bro,
So crazy.
I wanted to look like somebody different, and I spent $10 on a battle pass. And then they put my soccer team in?
Number 8. The nominations for the 24th Annual DICE Awards have been announced by the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences. Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Part 2. Did you read this one yet?
No.
Do you want to guess how many nominations The Last of Us Part 2 received?
Do you have a total number of categories for me?
I don't. I could probably get one.
No, I don't. I'll just give you a number. 11.
Nailed it.
Really?
The Last of Us Part 2 received 11 nominations, including nods for Game of the Year, Outstanding Achievement and Story, and Outstanding Technical Achievement. Other major contenders include Ghost of Tsushima with how many nominations?
8.
10. And Hades with a grand total of
9.
8. Elsewhere, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Ori and the Will of the Wisps all picked up how many nominations, Nate?
4.
5.
I got one. I'm batting 1 for 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4.
Yep.
Which isn't terrible.
And we have a link to the nominations, but I guess there's probably
Yeah,
no
we don't need
point
to go
in
through
going
all of
over them.
We can go over winners at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
Because we do, DICE Awards we do care about.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's voted by peers. I was going to say 9 initially instead of 11. But I felt like there's more things at DICE that it would have gotten than the Game Awards. I think the Game Awards was 9, wasn't it?
I want to say that DICE has like 50-something categories.
Yeah. So I was like, chance they got more. I'll go with 11. Screw it. And
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima with 10. Pretty good.
yeah, right behind it. I wonder what the one is they don't cross over in.
I suspect they probably... I would guess there's a lot they don't cross over in.
Interesting.
But I'm not positive. I'm just literally making shit up.
That, you know what? That would be an interesting episode. We don't look at the news.
We just make the news up.
Yep.
I have the feeling we might actually get some of them.
Or just do the old, literally don't have our tablets. Keep reading the news like we normally do every week, but then don't write any of it down. And attempt to guess headlines and then remember what they were about.
That'd be fun.
Number 9. Plex, well known as a service for streaming movies, music, and TV shows from your own computer, is now adding another thing that you can stream. Video games. Plex announced the new service called Plex Arcade on its blog and also launched a website for it. The service will cost $3 a month if you're a Plex Pass subscriber and $5 a month if you're not. Instead of focusing on modern console or phone games like its competitors, Plex lets you play Atari games. You can play arcade classics from Atari like Centipede, Super Breakout, and Missile Command, as well as games from the Atari 2600 and 7800. Overall, there are 27 games available on the service.
Not worth the money, in my opinion.
I also agree. Moving on.
Yep. 10. CD Projekt Red has released a 1.1 patch for Cyberpunk 2077 that was meant to bring stability improvements, but unfortunately included a game-breaking bug as well. Eurogamer reported that the Down on the Street quest appears to be broken for some players. The quest includes a hollow call that's supposed to trigger progress, the main part of Cyberpunk 2077 storyline. Unfortunately, some players are reporting that the call remains silent and it blocks progress of the game. Developer CD Projekt Red has published a workaround for the issue, but it requires players to have an earlier save of the game to try to get the hollow call to work correctly. The patch also brought modding tools to the game, which came with more problems for CD Projekt Red. They had to ban a mod that allowed players to have sex with Keanu Reeves' character, Johnny Silverhand.
Come on!
They did give, like... I appreciate CD Projekt Red for... they generally don't, like, give you a bullshit PR... like, too much of a bullshit PR reasoning. They straight up were like...
Yeah, we'll say generally they don't.
Yeah, they're like...
Most recently hasn't been so good about that.
Like, we can't let you do that. It could offend some of the people that are... We're using the likeness.
Yeah.
So... be nice to Keanu. Don't fuck him. Don't fuck Keanu.
What if it's my way of being nice to him? Anyway, number 11. Intel has launched its first Iris...
I think it's Z. Yeah.
Desktop graphics cards, much like the Iris... What the fuck is this sentence? Much like the Iris Z Max graphics cards that debuted in laptops back in October, these desktop GPUs aren't really designed for gaming. Intel is marketing them as a way to improve what's offered on mainstream desktop PCs with better graphics, multi-display support, and improved hardware acceleration for certain codecs. You'll only find them in pre-built systems for now and only with Intel CPUs. A spokesperson for Intel said, quote, "The Iris Z discrete add-in card will be paired with 9th Gen or Coffee Lake S and 10th Gen Comet Lake S Intel Core desktop processors and Intel R B460, H410, B365, and H310C chip-based motherboards and sold as part of pre-built systems. These motherboards require a special BIOS that supports Intel Iris Z, so the cards won't be compatible with other systems."
Fantastic.
Your laughing broke me during that, but yeah, it's interesting. I guess it's a good move for do I say this? For the peasants?
For the peasants.
For you low-end PC?
For the plebeians.
For you
the
plebeians. You low-end PC gamers that still buy your gaming PC from Walmart? Because when it says it's coming with the pre-built ones, it's not coming in a pre-built iBuyPower, CyberPower, NZXT. Those are going to have graphics cards in them. So when it says it's coming with a pre-built one, I can only imagine it's the lower end in Best Buy, a desktop from Target if you have a Super Target, a Walmart one, a Staples one, a whatever.
Yeah, your Dells and stuff.
Yeah, your Dells that still come in the cow print box. No, that was Gateway.
E-Machines was cow print, I think.
Gateway was cow print, wasn't it?
Maybe it was Gateway.
I think it was Gateway.
Gateway bought E-Machines.
Listen, E-Machines was a thing.
I had an E-Machines.
I had one. It's no longer in the garage. I had to think if the case was still out there. It's not.
The interesting
Thank
thing
God.
on this, I think, is the fact that, 'cause 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 the fact that, they are tied to Intel systems.
I mean, it makes sense. It's Intel's thing.
Yeah, but it's still kind of like, Intel being Intel.
Well, yeah. When the AMD one comes out, they'll be like, it works with everything. Don't worry about it. I'm wondering if this is doing... It's funny because if you get certain processors, the processor alone has graphics on it.
Yes.
If you have a high enough processor, this probably isn't needed. So I'm assuming it's meant to help the low-end processors, hence why they're coming in the pre-built machines, but meant to help the low-end processors by working in conjunction with them to leverage the weight of the graphical stuff off of it. So that way Microsoft Word doesn't take 7,000 years to open your document.
I do think that is the case because AMD's graphics component to their CPUs is significantly better than Intel's built-in graphic component in their CPUs. So it's like compensating for that.
Right.
Moving on from boring shit and going to more boring shit. Tesla announced its refreshed Model S, and a new plaid powertrain isn't its only performance enhancement. It's going plaid.
The powertrain?
Yes.
Oh, you know that's the reference.
Yeah.
That's 100% the reference.
That is the reference.
Yeah. They've gone plaid. I wonder if they jam your screen.
There's a plaid mode, I believe.
I want them to jam your screen, though.
The company claims the car can now compete with next-gen gaming consoles, thanks to a 10 teraflop gaming computer that will apparently come with every new model. Elon Musk hinted that The Witcher 3 will be playable, but hasn't officially confirmed it. He did specifically say that, quote, it can play Cyberpunk, end quote. In case you're wondering, the new Model S has a main display that is 17 inches with a resolution of 2200 by 1300. The rumor is some Tesla insider who has said things in the past that are true says that it has a Navi 2 or an RDNA 2 based GPU, which is basically the same thing that's in the PS5 and Series X. And
sad that it's not a big Navi.
It is Big Navi.
Oh, it is Big
Yeah.
Navi? Ah, I'm so happy they went Big Navi. Do you think the Model S will have Little Navi? You think we'll finally get the reveal of Little Navi?
Well, there is a secondary display in the back, so maybe that, or maybe Little Navi's running that.
Big Navi! You got the front. Little Navi has back. Don't know why that's the voice I chose, but hey.
Tesla. Silly.
Tesla now runs as well as your PS5s and whatever. Also, if you're buying that instead of the PS5, which one's easier to get your hands on? Or charge or play with? You picture somebody just...
Probably about the same price now.
Picture somebody buying the Tesla, putting it in their garage, not buying the PS5 specifically because they're going to just go sit in the garage in their car. Like, you know, their wife was like, "You're not buying a PS5." And he's like,
Okay.
"What if we got an electric car? You know, it's better for the economy. You know, it's the earthy move." She's like, "Yeah, you know what? That does make a lot of sense." And you're like, "Stupid bitch."
Jesus.
It just reminded me of you've seen the It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where Dennis is sitting at the stoplight eating a bowl of cereal.
No.
It's that part. He's
Okay.
eating a bowl of cereal, and I think the person in front of him was like doing their makeup. And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing, you stupid bitch?" But he's eating a bowl of cereal while driving. It's implications. Number 13, Netflix and production company Legendary are working on a Tomb Raider animated series. The series will be penned by Tasha Howe. Tasha who?
Tasha who?
Who? How?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
By Tasha, who's also behind Netflix's Witcher prequel Blood Origin. Netflix announced Skull Island, a new entry in Legendary's Monsterverse. We have a verse now. Its series of films primarily focusing on Godzilla and King Kong. Yeah, no shit. Who else are you going to focus on in a MonsterVerse? Frankenstein, different verse. Then again, disappointed we're not getting Frankenstein versus Godzilla.
Yeah.
Mecha Frankenstein versus Mecha Godzilla. Battle of the Mechas.
I just want to know what they're going to go to next.
Which started with 2014's Godzilla reboot. Skull Island will take the form of an animated series as well. I don't know if I'm a fan of either of these ideas.
They're getting a little crazy with the animated stuff. It's probably cheaper to make.
I think Tomb Raider can get away with it. I know it's not necessarily the case, but when I hear animated and when I think about these things immediately, when I see Netflix doing it, the first thing that runs through my head is cartoon style animation.
Jackie Chan's animated show.
I don't know that show. I was thinking something like Bad Mouth. Big Mouth. Big Mouth. You know what I'm talking about? No. Shit. All right.
BoJack Horseman.
Yeah. Something like that.
Okay.
Where it's that like cartoon style.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I don't know that I want to watch that version of that Skull Island version or that Tomb Raider version.
I have the same argument, but my version is I immediately think of the computer-generated ones that are blatantly computer-generated.
Like the computer-generated anime
Yes.
style? Yeah.
Which is like...
Also, bad idea.
Yeah.
I want to see full CGI, well-done things. I think you could potentially get away with Lara Croft being the exception one, but to do Skull Island and to represent the size and scope of all these things and the detail, yada yada, how do you get away with it being cheap? And not that like the BoJack style is cheap, but how do you get away with really showing things off in a 2.5D plane?
There's some anime houses I can think of that do ridiculous work that would be interesting to do, like a Skull Island, but that's not Netflix.
Like if we got,
I'm trying to think of what Netflix does that's good.
If we got Tomb Raider,
actually, I believe the same studio that did Castlevania, the Castlevania animated show, is doing Skull Island. I don't know if that means anything to you because I didn't see anything.
I don't watch Castlevania either. It's not Castlevania's not my wheelhouse. It would be interesting to see Tomb Raider or Skull Island. Actually, I think Skull Island might be better this way. In the Amazing Spider-Man, the Miles Morales,
that art style,
I think could lend itself very well to Skull Island. Kind of oversaturated, big character models, hyper stylized type of thing. I think that would work pretty well. I think Tomb Raider, the only problem with Tomb Raider, like, because I think you can get brighter on Skull Island, more sunny, yada yada. Obviously, you can get bright on Tomb Raider as well, except that Tomb Raider, if you're going by the recent games, has to be dark because she's going to accidentally commit genocide. I think that's what happened, or accidentally creates a world-ending event. The most recent one. She steals a dagger and a whole lot of shit starts going wrong, but
I don't know. Didn't finish it.
Make them like Lego Movie.
That'd be dope.
Lego Tomb Raider.
I could get behind that.
I'd be intrigued. It's been 7 days. And what a 7 days it's been. GameStop, $80. GameStop, $350. Other things. Me getting mad at emails. Normal life. But what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? Nothing exciting. Watching movies randomly. I can't even remember what I watched. Just being lazy generally. Haven't really been playing any games. Haven't really been doing anything productive. I've downloaded a bunch of games. Been like, I should probably play these. Didn't. Downloaded when Total War was at some point was free on Epic. Total War Troy, I believe. You're sending some weird fucking Snapchats to people.
Dude, I'm weird. I can't take selfies. Story of my life.
Downloaded Total War Troy.
Yeah, I believe it was Troy. Well, because that was the most recent one, right? That went free for the 24 hours when it came out.
Downloaded Phasmophobia.
Interesting. That's an interesting one to play.
I might finish Immortals, that Ubisoft game. I don't know. Nothing's really like got me. That's about it. I'm in the second season of Jack Ryan, but I'm not really liking it. So
how far in are you?
Only like 2 episodes.
Yeah, it's the first. I think after like episode 4, it finally hits the like. Okay, you now know all this other weird build-up bullshit.
I feel like he reverted.
Kind of, yeah. They do a very weird, pseudo reset.
Okay,
like that's what it seems. The same thing where you're like he reverted. It seems like they went. But what if we pretended like he didn't just do everything he did in season 1?
Yeah, I was like, he should know better than this. Like,
yeah.
What else did we watch?
But it's still I still enjoyed the season after I gave it, just let it get through that early bullshit.
Yeah. We finished, I think we might have finished it last week, but we finished that Anime Vinland Saga. Which was nice because it did not didn't wrap up the season happily like most animes do. Like it was
dark. A lot of death.
The anime was definitely harsh, darker, and like the main character did not get, what he wanted. So, and not get what he wanted.
Was like an everyone loses situation?
Or
was there a winner?
There was,
or were there a lot of neutrals?
I guess you could argue that someone did win in the end, but like he's dead, so like
might be a win. Some people.
So like it was interesting. That's about it, really. I think. I mean, yeah. Listen to a lot of Dan Carlin's podcasts. Like, holy shit, bro. It's kind of ridiculous.
All in on Carlin. I still haven't gotten through more of 5 yet because I've been catching up on Talking Baseball and Dude Soup and everything else that I've.
I gotta evaluate my podcast situation because I have so much time now that I can listen to podcasts that it's like
so much Carlin.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much of one thing. So I gotta break it up and find other things to listen to. But that's where I'm at.
I know things you can listen to. I got options. I just mentioned 2 of them.
Maybe. I mean, get in on the baseball, I guess, before the season starts.
They haven't started TPPs yet, so when they do, they'll be the perfect place for you to jump right in.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. What are you up to?
Team Profile Productions. TPP. I've just been up to the huge, as the kids would say, and I say that every fucking week. I need to come up with something new. Lot of World of Warcraft. Raiding 3 nights a week now.
Wow.
Raiding 2 and then sometimes 3, I guess. 2 is our normal, and then 3 is our alt raid for other characters. I don't need to be there, but I usually have somebody ready to go in and get gear.
Mm-hmm.
Or if things are going bad and I need to help out so they can keep going, I'll go get on one of my better characters and just help them out. So yeah, there's that. I did finish a book that I have now forgotten the name of, but it's on the document. So I am going to grab my tablet real quick. The name of the book was The Never Game, I believe.
Okay.
Nailed it. The Never Game by Jeffrey Deaver. It was a Christmas gift to me last year, and I just finished it because I started reading it on my way, or I started reading it over Christmas break this year because that baseball book took me a long time to get through.
It was like a textbook, basically.
Yeah, it is. It very much is a textbook. But yeah, it was a game on, or game. It was The Never Game by Jeffrey Deaver was a book on a PI of sorts that, not a PI. He's technically not a PI. He collects rewards, missing people, whatever.
Okay.
And he ends up having to deal with this case that somebody is copying things from a video game. But it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, because it's more complicated than that.
Okay.
But whenever I hear gamer book in quotes, I'm immediately sketched. Like, he does a pretty good job of never, I think, trying to lean too hard into the gaming or like nerd culture without knowing it. I think he does a pretty good job of just doing a very normal overview of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's only one blatant misstep that is carried like that. It's one blatant misstep that has small ripple effects, but it's not enough for me. It wasn't enough for me to stop reading. So I enjoyed the book.
Mm-hmm.
That one thing just irked me the first time I saw it, and then it pops up a couple times. But I was just like, that's not really a thing. But okay, I'll let it be. Let it play. But yeah, then it's mostly just been about a bunch of WoW. I think last week I mentioned I finished the Cyberpunk main storyline.
Yes.
But then I just kind of been caught up in work, sleep, more WoW. Oh, played some Football Manager. Not fired yet. Good news.
Yeah.
But we've kind of been off about being able to sync up a schedule to kind of do some more.
Been working out as well?
I have been working out. It stops me because I do it Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, except for last Friday when I got really distracted with the closet and worked out on Saturday instead.
I mean, you kind of worked out.
Yeah,
doing the closet and trim.
I carried doors upstairs. But yeah, it's been going good. I'm not like hating it or anything. I've been increasing my weight already.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm not really gonna lose weight out of this. I know that, but
is it
not? There's no like high intensity or cardio. It's just,
what's the goal? Do you have a goal?
I should be in better shape.
Just be in better shape. All right.
I'm hoping my leg days, increase my vertical a little bit, like help with some volleyball stuff whenever I'm allowed to play that again.
Yeah.
But that's really it. I mean, otherwise it's just keep myself semi-active and in better shape than I was last year. I don't really want to set a goal because then that gives me an option of failure.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, is my goal to like shed weight? If my goal was to shed weight, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I'd be like buying a Peloton and biking my ass off every day and just die. Or drastically like change. I've already like swapped up my diet again, but entirely redo my diet and all these other things. I'm just like, I'm gonna monitor my diet and do this.
Well, I suspected it was for volleyball, but I wasn't sure.
It kind of is. It's a lot of it is. It's mostly for volleyball, but in an indirect way.
Yeah.
The leg day is the only thing that I can directly say I want this to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But the rest of it is I'm not playing volleyball, so when I do go back, I want to still be limber of sorts and able to move. yeah, I was telling you last week, I was squatting, and I'm not squatting much. Somebody's going to hear this and be like, hey, baby squatter. Take
I mean,
meathead yourself, shove your own head up your ass. But
it's kind of deceiving because, so like when I was active and lifting weights and stuff like that, when I would squat, it was using a machine.
oh, okay.
If you squatting the way you are with free weights,
Yep.
it's a totally different experience. Like,
yeah.
totally different experience.
Machines can make everything easier.
Yeah. Machines, like, you can't, they're not, it's apple and oranges. It's not a comparable experience.
Yeah, when I was in college, one of the courses we had to I had to take like some health course of sorts. And I was like, I'm not actually taking PE. Because I'm not going to, I did PE in high school. I'm not doing PE now. So I'll take like a health education course.
Yeah.
And I took that. And one day we went into the gym there. And he's like, hey, you just some machines, yada, yada. He's like, the whole class today is going to be try as many machines as you can. Do whatever you can. Just give yourself a test and a feel for all these things. One of them was a leg press where you're in the inverted seat. You're not inverted. You're in an inclined seat. You're still sitting upright. You're not in the inverted one where you're on your back. So you're still sitting upright, and the weight is attached to the chair, and you are pushing yourself up. Mm-hmm. The machine maxed at 300, and I was doing that with ease.
Yeah.
I'm not squatting 300.
Yeah.
Same thing. Went on the inverted one. Put up a decent amount of weight in there, too. And I was like, yeah, this is much easier than free anything.
Yeah.
But I was doing 135. And the other thing too with squatting is you are semi-squatting your own body weight. Like even if I wasn't using free weights and just squatting, I'm still having to lift I don't know how fucking much do I weigh from my knee to my head. Still having to lift that part back up. Mm-hmm. Which I'm roughly 220. Probably closer to like 223, but so that's still a lot of coming back up. And I was at 135 on the bar, not this week, not last week, the week before. And I started, I was like, I'm going to just do 135. That'll be my start weight. And the very first time, having not done it in so long, couldn't walk the next day, obviously.
Yeah.
Hurts like a bitch. Do it the next week, not sore. And not as sore as I felt like I should have been. Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, weight's got to go up now. Because now I'm getting used to it. Weight's got to go up. Did the closet, so I didn't work on it Friday. Did it on Saturday. Went plus 50 pounds because I don't know how to properly increment myself. Went up to 185. Had to drop the amount of reps I was doing, but felt sore. And now did more reps tonight at 185. And I'm going to feel sore.
Yeah.
So it's just I'll just keep small inclines the whole way until eventually I don't feel safe lifting on my own and I need to like have a spot or something. Don't think I'm going to get there though, because I do have safety bars in place that I can drop out if I have to.
That was what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I have safety bars in place both if I have to eat shit squatting. Like if I go down and I just can't get back up, I can just squat out of it and like drop myself a little bit lower, like, all right, put your ass on the ground then, and just set the bar down and walk away from it. I've done it benching.
Yeah.
Because I have them set both to be able to drop out of a squat, and when I'm benching, if I drop the bar, if I full drop the bar, it can land on my chest, but it'll just roll a little bit, like, towards me, and immediately it's off me.
Yeah.
And I've had to do that benching. Get to my last set, and I'm like, nope, that's not going anywhere. And just bring it down and set it down, and then be like, all right, well, that's done for now, and then just pick it up and put it back on its rack. And
yeah,
because that's the other funny thing. When I'm doing like 185 or whatever else, I can still just pick that up and just deadlift, I guess, essentially, and just pick that up and move it where I need it to.
Mm.
Struggle.
Yeah.
But I can just, like, oh, hey, my legs are dead because I'm squatting, so I can't go that low. But if I'm just here and using mostly my arms and back, just pick it up and move it.
Yeah.
But it's been interesting. Been interesting committing myself. I do think I might have to start going to 5 a weeks soon. But just doing something kind of light on Tuesday, Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Not lifting anything, because I still want to cool that down. But there are times on Tuesday and Thursday where I'm like, I don't feel pain. I can go do something. What should I do?
Just do core stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of core stuff, but I might just do more like body core / body work, where it's like I don't have to go hit the weights or anything.
Yoga.
But, yoga or just stretching in general. Like set aside a solid 30 minutes of I'm going to lay on my ground, tuck my leg behind my. I don't know if you've ever done that fun stretch. You probably have as a runner.
Yeah.
You do the old, tuck back like that, but you're just laying on the ground, so everything's just nice. And let's do some butterflies for a bit.
Yeah.
All that fun. Feel limber.
Stretching, I feel like, is
underrated immensely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really underrated. It's actually like you can low key build muscle that way too.
The amount of times, even playing volleyball, the whole joke, right? Bar leagues that I'm playing in, a couple tournaments or whatever. But you're going to a bar league. Who's stretching in a bar league? An asshole.
It's good for your joints too.
A mix of an asshole or a smart person.
Yeah.
You either have the guy that's going to try way too hard in the next 5 minutes, or the guy that knows that if he does this, he has a less likely chance of injuring himself.
Yeah. The first, my range of motion has decreased a lot, but my joints, I feel like if I stretched consistently, my joints would hurt way less than they do. Like specifically my knees and like my elbows. But that's, getting older.
Mine always comes down to my knees or like my legs kind of, which goes back to that's a majority of what I'm stretching the entire time. I go to when we would be playing volleyball and go to indoor just on the rec nights.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm going to have to run more than everybody else here because the majority of these people can't move. So I'm stretching. Constantly stretching. In between points, I'm just doing the good old like, you guys just keep going. I'm good. Now, just get a lunge in. Yeah, serve it to me. I don't give a shit. You're not scoring a point on me. What do I care? Serve it to me. Yeah, all right. There. That's the arrogant side of me that comes out immediately. You've seen it. Dare people to serve at me because I'm sitting on the ground. Make a diving play. Don't make the play. Continue to just lay there. Ball goes back to like, you gonna get up? I'm like, nah. You managed to hit me. We'll be fine. Just gotta lay there and just throw an arm up and be like, got it. It's on you guys now. I don't want to move if my embarrassment's too much. But yeah, that's been it. That's all I got. So we will see you guys in 7 days. Yeah.
Hopefully with more exciting game news.
Or a more exciting setup? ? Probably not that week.
Maybe.
Probably not that week.
Okay, not that week.
We can try, but that means I'm going to need you up here another time during the week first. Because otherwise we're going to spend 4 hours troubleshooting and record at 3 a.m. and I don't want to do that.
That's fair.
Mostly because you got to go back that way. unless you're sleeping on the couch.
Whatever.
All right, man, all right.
I go with the flow.
My hair is really soft, and it's just kind of doing whatever it wants. Thank God I wear the headband for enough, so now it just stays out of my head, but still.
It's floofy.
Yeah, it's because I did the shower and I conditioned, man, and it's all like, you want to feel what bangs are like? And I'm like, no! Stop it. Anyway, see you guys in 7 days. Bye-bye.